ह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने Sri Varshabhava.
Mataji, you can do your regular one, Mataji. It's okay. I mean, this is actually this.
Okay, Prabhu.
Be comfortable, Mataji, not a problem, because it's got included a lot of other
Yes.
Yeah, not a problem. And you can do the Krishna one. Hey Krishna. Yeah, this one.
Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Hare Krishna.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. That was wonderful. So nicely.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Is that correct, Prabhu? Whatever I did.
Yes, of course. Perfect.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, it's really good, like, when we make it like a participatory, like everybody can just take part in it, and that would really be wonderful, isn't it? Anil Prabhu, Ashwin Prabhu, if you need, just have a look at these prayers, you can just go to the ISKCON Desire Tree, or I can just share the link as well. It will be nice just knowing some of these prayers, because sometimes in our spiritual life, when we take the blessings of our acharyas, when we take the blessings of the sampradaya, all our guru parampara, that really helps us in our devotional life. When we get the prayers, for example, when we are glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when we are glorifying the acharyas, they really help us in going forward on our spiritual life, in our devotional life, because on our own we cannot make so much progress as much as we get the support of the acharyas. When our Srila Prabhupada went to the US to start the Hare Krishna movement also, he never felt that he was alone. He always felt the presence of his guru. He felt the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who all supported so much in this, that he literally could grow this entire, from nothing. He just started this Hare Krishna movement just by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and grew it into a big 108 temples all around the world in 10 years' time. Because Prabhupada always had the blessings and the support of all his guru, as well as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all our guru parampara. So it's always nice to know these prayers, glorifying Radha Gokulananda as well as our acharyas as well. And also just to share that on the 13th of this month, March 13th, and that's the day when we had the Gauru Purnima, which is actually the appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared in the 15th century on I think 1486. That's when Lord Chaitanya appeared, and it is the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and it's the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread this Sankirtana Yajna all over the world. And we are actually followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he's the one who actually predicted that this Hare Krishna Mahamantra will be spread in every nook and corner of the world in the next 10,000 years. And it is by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we are all chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He is the one who propagated this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And along with them, like as this Panchatattva mantra is there, like, we have all the blessings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Advaita Acharya. So whenever Krishna descends, or whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descends, he descends along with all the associates who kind of support in pushing this Hare Krishna movement. And this prayer also is very nice because it is basically a prayer to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Premaya Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvise Namaha. O most munificent incarnation, that is referring to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You are Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani, and you are widely distributing the pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisance unto you. So this is a beautiful prayer. Given that we are getting Gaura Purnima is happening on the 13th of March, and there's going to be a good celebration at the temple, and also there's going to be, and over the weekend they're celebrating on the 16th as well, so that more people can attend as well, because 13th happens to be a Thursday. So normally they try to do on the weekend as well, so that more people can take to the blessings. So, and it's very interesting because in the Back to Godhead magazine, initially even I was not much aware of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and later I was read in the Back to Godhead magazine, and I was trying to understand more from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A lot of people may usually get a doubt because many of the devotees would have never heard about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or would think like, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually? But the Shastras, especially Srimad Bhagavatam and Vishnu Sahasranamam, in both of these scriptures, it has been mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been mentioned in both the scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam as well as Vishnu Sahasranamam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it has been mentioned, Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadai Yajna Sankitana Praya Yajantehi Sumedasaha. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that Bhagavan Sri Krishna will appear in that intelligent people in this Kali Yuga. It is mentioned in Bhagavatam. Intelligent people will take to the worship of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by always doing the Sankirtana Yajna. But unlike Krishna in Dwapara Yuga, who was in blackish complexion, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in very molten golden complexion. Why? Because he came in the mood of Radharani. So in Dwapara Yuga, Krishna expands himself into Krishna and Radha in Krishna. But again, in Kali Yuga, again, both Radha and Krishna again come together in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Krishna himself, but came in the mood of Radharani. So I just really liked one of the senior devotees who gave a very nice explanation about Radha and Krishna. When somebody asked, like, what's the relation between Radha and Krishna, then he said, Radha Krishna eki atma duhi dehadari anyone vilase rasa ashwadana kari, which means Radha and Krishna eki atma, but appear in two transcendental bodies in a loving relationship with each other. So in the Dwapara Yuga, Krishna expands himself. Hiladini Shakti of Krishna itself is manifested in the form of Radharani. So we have Radha and Krishna in two separate spiritual bodies in a loving relationship in Dwapara Yuga. But again, in Kali Yuga, both of them come together in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared in the molten golden complexion. And it is very interesting to note that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also not only mentioned in Bhagavatam, and also it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that that unlike Krishna, who was in blackish complexion, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu happened to be in molten golden complexion, and we can see these beautiful images of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So beautiful actually, and he is Krishna himself, but again, like as I said, he just not only he was not in blackish complexion, but he was in molten golden complexion, and he came along with his associates, and to spread the holy name. Basically, he came in the avatar of a devotee to spread this holy name of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, to freely distribute the love of Krishna to each and every one. So wherever he is there, you can see that in the mood of surrender, he would always keep his hands lifting up like this. Like, when you put your hands up in the mode of surrender, it is like saying, Krishna, Tavasmi. Tavasmi means I am yours, and kindly protect me. So in that mood of devotion, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to be in the mode of surrender to Krishna. and which is so nice to see that, nice to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance is happening very shortly in the next week on the 13th. So it's going to be a beautiful celebration in most of the temples. And not only in Srimad Bhagavatam that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been mentioned, it was very interesting, and I didn't know till recently that actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been mentioned in Vishnu Sahasranamam also. So as you all know, Vishnu Sahasranam was spoken by Bhishma Pitama, who was lying on the bow of arrows. And when Yudhishthira goes and asks Bhishma Pitama, what is Bhishma Pitama? What is the ultimate dharma of a human life? What is it that we all have to do? Who is that one supreme Lord whom we all have to worship? And that is when Bhishma Pitamaha says, Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam Purushottam. Then he goes on to explain that the highest dharma in a human life is to glorify Bhagavan Sri Krishna. That is the ultimate dharma of a human being. And then he says, you have to glorify Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and he recites all these 1,000 beautiful attributes of Krishna, which is to glorify, and glorifying Krishna with these 1,000 names is the highest dharma, which is what Bhishma Pitama is saying. And in that 1,000 names of Vishnu, starting from Vishwam Vishnur Vasatkaro, Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu, Bhuta Krut, Bhuta Bhridbhavo, Bhutatma, Bhuta Bhavanaha. So Bhishma Pitamaha goes on to recite these 1,000 names of Vishnu, saying that this is the most ultimate dharma in a human life to glorify. And in that 1,000 names of Vishnu, one of the name of Vishnu is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in that it says, Subarnavarno Hemango Varanga Standanangadi. It's very interesting. I think 13th happens to be a Thursday, isn't it? So maybe we can speak about it next Thursday. Maybe I'm just going to add a bit more into that. But just to give an idea that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance is coming up, and he's someone who's the main, our teachings, our Hare Krishna Mahamantra, everything is based on the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's the one who's spreading this name of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the divine love of Krishna. And it's very, very nice, because I think next week what we will do is we will cover the similarity between Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and just to give some insights into what Krishna is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita and what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. I already have a presentation, but I'm just going to add a bit more so that we can all relish into that. I hope that's fine with everyone. Just to take a few minutes, and then we can again dive back into our book. I hope that's fine. Hare Krishna, Paritosh Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Sanchiti ji, Hare Krishna, Sita ji. Thank you for joining us.
Today I made it.
You made it. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful, Prabhu.
Have you changed the topic to say? I thought before it said Krishna. Have you changed it?
What's that?
Your headline, or has it always been the same?
Oh, it's been the same. We are to this chapter. I just digressed a bit. I just diverted a bit just to explain about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
But does yours always say Bhagavad Gita as it is?
Yeah, it's always Bhagavad Gita as it is.
Okay, sorry. I thought it said Krishna or something. Okay, no, that's fine. Thank you.
Bhagavad Gita as it is, Prabhu. So we're just covering this beautiful chapter number 60. And before that, can I just, with your permission, just do a very quick kirtan, just to follow the process. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girvaradari, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So beautiful. We are covering the chapter number 60. It's very interesting because the nectar is flowing. Last week we covered this chapter to some extent, and it's quite a big chapter because there's a flowing conversation that's happening between Lord Krishna and Rukmini. But before with that, we invoke the beautiful prayer for Radha Gokulananda. Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Namo Vishnu Padaya Parmak Vishnu Prastaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasudi Gaura Bhakti. Hare Krishna. As we always mention before we start this Harikatha, the very famous sloka from Bhagavad Gita. In fact, Srila Prabhupada said that this is the best verse in the entire Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is mentioning Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti takrutaha chakrudeham punarjanma naitima meti so Arjuna, where Krishna Bhagavan himself mentions that the listening to Harikatha or Krishna Katha is so auspicious that one who listens to this Krishna Katha towards the end of this life will not again come into the womb of another mother. He will not go through again the cycle of birth and death, old age and diseases. No more of going into the womb of another mother, but he will go directly to the most supreme planet of Krishna, which is called as Krishna Loka. So that kind of a benediction Krishna is offering just by this easy process of just listening to Harikatha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Krishna himself, gave us this most beautiful and easiest process in Kali Yuga, that by just chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, by just listening to the Harikatha, we get the greatest benediction that we can ever think of. There is so much of ignorance in the society. They think that all gods are the same. They think that worshipping everything is the same. They don't understand the difference between devatas, and they don't understand the difference between devatas and the Supreme Lord Krishna. Why it is important to worship Krishna? Because up to the level of the Brahma Loka, you could be a worshipper of a Brahma. For example, Hiranyakashipu, who worshipped Brahma, and that is when he got this great boon that no man can kill him, no animal can kill him. But even if you talk about, even if you're a worshipper of Brahma, you can go only to the planet of Brahma, but beyond that, you cannot go. It is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Abrahma bhuvana loke punar avartan Arjuna mamupechitu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. Krishna himself is saying, Arjuna, from the lowest till the highest planet in the material world, which is the Brahma Loka, all are places of misery where there's repeated birth and death, old age and disease. All these things are likely to happen from the lowest planet to the highest planet, Arjuna. But whoever comes to my planet, Arjuna, my supreme planet, there is no coming back. There is no more of all this life and death and all these things. You will be staying there in the association of Krishna, get back your spiritual body. And so Krishna is promising this highest benediction, that we will not only get liberated, we will not only get the joy of Krishna, we will not only be in the association of Krishna, we'll get back into our original spiritual body as well. So what else can Krishna offer than this? And what is the easiest process that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended? Just by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. What is the easiest process? Just by listening to Harikatha. Yare deko tare kaha Krishna upadesh. This is the message from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whomever you see, speak about Krishna. But how will we speak about Krishna unless we listen to Krishna Katha? Only when we listen to Krishna Katha, then only we'll be able to speak to another devotee about Krishna, isn't it? Because this is the advice from Krishna. Matchitta madgata pranam bodhayante parasparam katayantasya mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. My devotees are always thinking of me. How can we think about Krishna unless we have the knowledge about Krishna, unless we have some through the Harikatha? Only through the Harikatha we can get to know more personal details of Krishna's personalities, Krishna's quality, Krishna's divine leelas. How will we get to know? Only through the Harikatha. And Krishna is saying that this is what his devotees, he's expecting his devotees to, that the devotees of Krishna, they great satisfaction and bliss by always talking about Harikatha with each other. So this is Krishna's expectation of his devotees. So we are so blessed that in the association of devotees, we're able to read the Harikatha. So by reading the Harikatha, we get intimate, most beautiful details of Krishna's Leelas and Krishna's personality. And with that, keeping that in mind, we exchange our conversations with other devotees, speaking about how beautiful Krishna is. The more we know about Krishna, the more we develop a personal love towards Krishna. Only when we develop such kind of love towards Krishna, that then towards the end of the life, we will be able to think about Krishna by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And only when we are able to think of Krishna towards the end of the life, by practicing throughout our life, then by Krishna says that whomever you're thinking of at the time of death, that is where you go. So if you're thinking of Devatas at the end of your life, you go to the planet of the Devatas. But if you're thinking of Krishna at the end of the life, you will go to the planet of Sri Krishna. So this is Krishna's message. So having said that, we've seen earlier that talks between Krishna and Rukmini, we've seen that Rukmini had this little bit of pride that Krishna is always with her and he's spending most time with her, because he was like the queen, the chief of all the queens, because even though Krishna had 16,108 wives, more than that, Krishna was more closer to Rukmini. So sometimes Krishna does his leelas. That's why we say Janma Karma Cha Divyam. Whatever Krishna does, these are all leelas. They're all divyam. They're all spiritual, transcendental, not to be understood on the material platform. We should keep that in mind as like a precursor before we dive into the Krishna Katha. And we've seen that how Krishna wanted to kind of like instigate or Rukmini, and just try to instigate her by telling her that he's not the right perfect husband for her. He tries to, in so many ways, to discourage her and disappoint her, saying that I think you've done a wrong decision by trying to marry me. There were more qualified people like Jarasandha and Sishapal and all of them. I do not know why you had to come and marry me. It was not a right decision. You are so beautiful and you could have gone and married any one of them and all that. So Krishna has tried every way in which to kind of like discourage Rukmini and say like it's not even late. Even now you can just go and marry someone. And and he tried to downplay so much of his activity, saying that I was scared of all these warriors. That's why I created a place like Dwarka to go and be away from them. Then, I'm not at all, I have married so many women. What kind of a person? And I come from a village. I do not know even how to treat this woman. So he was doing everything that he can in order to discourage Rukmini. And the beautiful thing about this is, and Krishna, this is one of the things that Krishna is trying to discourage her and all that. But at the same time, he's seeing like, the immediate reaction is like, Rukmini was like, kind of like, a bit of anxiety, because she could not even think that she's going to be away from Krishna in any other way. She cannot even think that, she can be far away from Krishna for another time. And she was like, she became very weak in this thing, and she literally fell down kind of thing. So the proposition that Krishna has given to her, that he can leave her and go and marry one of them because they're more rightly. But Krishna was actually basically testing to see how she's going to react. Is he going to get angry? Is she going to give a rebuttal to whatever points that Krishna has mentioned? Like when you go to a court, you have both the sides of the lawyers, one lawyer presenting his case, and then other lawyer is noting down whatever this lawyer has said, and then he presents his counter case. So here you can see like Krishna is kind of giving all the points to just justify, saying that, I'm not the right choice. You shouldn't have married me at all. And I do not have any kind of a love at all, and things like that. So so in this mood the Krishna was talking about it, and we seen that Rukmini cried in great anxiety, and as if when she started scratching the floor. And these are the typical mannerisms of anybody who's, mannerisms of any girl who's in that kind of a state where the husband is telling her like, why don't you just leave me and just marry someone else. And so you can understand how she was like choked up on account of great anxiety and all that. And so in every way he tried to do, and then Krishna could understand that, she's feeling very bad about it, and she's not taking it lightly, because there are some people who can be like, husband is very sportive, and if the wife is also very sportive, maybe she could have taken with a pinch of salt. But here you can see that Rukmini could not even think of being away from Krishna for a long time, because she herself is Lakshmi, and both of them are Lakshmi and Narayan. So she cannot even think about that. But Krishna was trying to do in every way to discourage her. But again, Krishna seen that Rukmini has not taken it lightly, so now he's trying to tell her, again he's trying to pacify, because Rukmini was in great anxiety to even think that, and she started scratching the floor with her fingernails and things like that, all those typical mannerisms to show that she was in a great anxiety, of thinking of in the mood of that she's going to get separated. And now again, Krishna, you can see he has done enough. He could understand that, Rukmini is really being affected by her. And I know she's trying to pacify Rukmini and trying to tell her that, don't try to misunderstand me, don't try to be unkind with me and things like that. So we can see that Krishna has so many different in his personality. He has so many bit of humor, bit of pulling leg, and you can see like right from the beginning, right, with the gopis, how he is reciprocating, with Uddhava, how he is reciprocating, with Akrura, how he is reciprocating with the demoniac people like Sushipal, Rukmi, and all this. So Krishna, you can see that through the Harikatha, we can get an idea about Krishna's personality. Like, on one side, no matter how demoniac people are, he was just able to put an end to all of them. He was able to defeat any kind of a people, whether it's Jarasandha or whether it's Sushipal. But at the same time, Krishna at the other side, where he was very jovial and he's always very, like you can see that Rukmini, how he's trying to pull her leg and how he's trying to, instigate her and all, just in the mood of like, how a married couple are behave, like sometimes they just try to do things like this. So Krishna made it very clear, don't try to be unkind with me. I'm just trying to irritate you a bit. And I was expecting you to say counter answers for this jokingly word. But unfortunately, there are certain kind of people who do that also. If you say one word, they'll just say one more word and things like that. But here you can see that Rukmini was not like that. She was really impacted. She was not in a mood to give back answers or just like, get angry and things like that. None of those kind of. So that is Rukmini's personality. So we can get an idea of what each and every person's the personality also. That Rukmini was not someone like that who would give a rebuttal or just, because in today's material world, especially Kali Yuga, this is a world of, Kali Yuga is a yuga of quarrel and hypocrisy and anxiety and all kind of things. This is the most fallen yuga. But the only shining light in this Kali Yuga is that we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Yuga avatar of Kali Yuga, who has given us this beautiful Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which can be like a kavacha, which can be like give you all the kind of protection from this mad world where there's so much of anxiety. It gives you everything that you can ask for. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Siddho Nitya Mukto Abhinatvam Nami Namine. It is mentioned that Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya. So it is like a Chintamani, it's like a wish fulfilling thing. It gives you all kind of material benediction, spiritual benediction, and Abhinatvam Nami Namine. That means the Nama avatar of Krishna, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and actual Krishna, there is no difference at all. Krishna and the Nama avatar, which is Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one and the same, and it gives you all kind of spiritual description. So we can see that but we are talking about a different yuga. Kali Yuga is like that. It's very fallen, and that's why Krishna is so mercifully come in the avatar of devotee. But during the time of Dwapara Yuga, where people were very spiritual, they were very, very knowledgeable, and they were not someone like, not like in Kali Yuga, you can see like people have short tempers, and for every small instigation, you can find people fighting with each other, and so much of divorces happening everywhere, and so many things, because this is the impact of Kali Yuga, because this is the yuga. The yuga is like that. Kali Yuga is supposed to be the most fallen of Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga. It has come down to the lowest. And again, once this whole Kali Yuga is over, again, it will start with the Satya Yuga, But again, here we can see that how Krishna is, even though he's mentioned, he's not taken. So Krishna is trying to pacify my beautiful, that we are high householders, we are very busy, so we are just trying to joke between us. I mean, this is quite common, isn't it? Sometimes when you have a very stressful day, it is nice when one of the family members is in a jovial mood, is in a joking, has a good sense of humor. So that way it doesn't look serious at home, because many times we carry our baggage of stress to our home as well. So it is nice when people crack a joke or just do something, so that way you don't need to feel like. So when Rukmini, so Lord Krishna tried to pacify with the words and could understand that what he said was not taken, but it was not taken in a jokingly way and things like that. So now you can see the beauty about this particular thing that we are going to cover now is that you can see that how Rukmini is in her response. It's a beautiful conversation. There is so much to learn from this, especially from couples and for many people to see like how nicely she has taken it. Krishna tried his best in every way. Any other girl maybe she would have got very seriously impacted, or she would have given back, and why did you marry me, and why this, why that, why this, and all that. But here you can see how Rukmini Devi is reverting back to Krishna, right? My dear lotus-eyed Krishna, your statements that we are not a fit combination is completely right, because that's what Krishna is saying. It is not possible for me to come in a level with you because you are the reservoir of all the qualities. So we have to keep in mind that Rukmini, even before she met Krishna, she already knew about Krishna through Narada Muni. Narada Muni was kind of a playing Cupid. He's the one who was actually given all this knowledge. So it is very important because Narada Muni is such a pure devotee, whether when he was speaking to Prahlad Maharaj's mother, when Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of his mother, he's such a pure devotee that the kind of a knowledge that he gives about Krishna, everybody turns into a great devotee. Like Rukmini, she heard about Krishna from Narada Muni. She did not even see him, but she became a great devotee because she would have heard about these qualities, beautiful qualities of Krishna. That's what you will hear, right? If you're hearing about someone, we certainly draw a certain impression. Okay, this person must be this kind of a person, and you will say, when you actually see the person, sometimes you may say, well, this is what I heard about you, but you seem to be a totally different person. But initially we carry certain impression, doesn't it? Because we have heard about that person in a certain way. So she's saying, like, I already heard about this, that you're a reservoir of all these qualities from Narada Muni. So how can I even think that I'm a match for you? So you can see the humility with which Rukmini is. Rukmini is not getting angry in a mood. She's in a mood of anxiety. But this is a spiritual anxiety, right? So material anxiety is like creates a lot of stress. It creates a lot of things you spoil your health and things like that. But again, this anxiety is there in the spiritual world also. When it comes to Krishna, sometimes we may get, oh my God, if you're getting late for singing the arati, or we're getting late for doing the kirtan, or sometimes you feel, oh my God, have I not done this? I have to serve the Mahaprasadam. I'm getting late for this. It so happened that for the very first time in all these years that I've seen, suddenly something happened. There was some communication gap or something. The arati was supposed to happen at 4:20, and there was no pujari who turned up at that time. And there was like totally chaos. Like, I'm like, and the persons come and say like, Shyam Prabhu, can you just keep all the devotees engaged and just talk to them, because there's going to be a delay in the arati, because we didn't even expect that. So there's a bit of a spiritual anxiety, like, oh my God, how are we going to manage this? The person hasn't turned up. And then I said, okay, not to worry, and then I started, speaking about Chaitanya Prabhu and Krishna, and I covered the time for the next 20 minutes. But there was a spirit. But this spiritual anxiety is beautiful because this is in the mood of serving Krishna. So this anxiety is nice. Spiritual anxiety is because anything, Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe, anything that's we do with Krishna, that is all good, right? Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe. That's what we are trying to do. Anything that related, because some people, they only want to hear about Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, only that they know, but no. But devotees want to know anything about Krishna. Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe. Anything that has to do with Krishna, a devotee is ready to listen to. Whether it is the fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, whether it's the beautiful pastimes with the gopis, or whether it is the fighting of Krishna with Shishupal and Jarasandha, anything that is so beautiful to hear about it. So here we can see that Rukmini is in the mood of spiritual anxiety, that in the mood of separation. And this is the thing, isn't it? Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came also in the mood of devotion, in the mood of separation. That Krishna, where are you? Krishna, where are you? And recently I was hearing a beautiful song, which I believe is from the Beatles. Oh Krishna, where are you? Though I can't see you, I hear your flute all the while. So that's a beautiful song. I'm not able to really get that, but it's such a beautiful saying. Krishna, where are you? I'm searching for you all the while, and though I cannot see you, but I hear your flute all the while. Please come and shed my tear, and it's such a beautiful, loving song saying that, Krishna, where are you? So like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also in that mood, like, Krishna, where are you? Where are you? He was always searching for Krishna. So this is all the spiritual anxiety in the mood of devotion for Krishna, which is what is the kind of a love that we should have. Like the gopis also showed us that in the mood of separation, we had this Gopi Geet, right? Gopi Geet is a beautiful song of where the gopis in the mood of separation, they were singing for Krishna, right? So like that, Rukmini was going through that, and she's saying like, there's no comparison with you. You're the master of all greatness. You're the controller of all the we are all covered by the three gunas, but Krishna is above the three gunas, and he's the object of worship even for the great demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. Even they also worship Krishna. What to speak about them? Aradhanam Sarvam Vishnu Aradhanam Param. Shiva says of all the worship, the worship of Lord Vishnu is the highest. And Brahma we know, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadir Adi Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Brahma himself is saying, you're the original creator. Even I'm born from your this thing. So we can see that even they're also worshipping Krishna. And Lord Shiva also tells in Gita Mahatyam, right? Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam, Eko Devo Devaki Putra. If there is only one Supreme Lord whom you have to worship, that is Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Lord Shiva is saying, as far as I am concerned, I'm product of the three modes of material nature. And we covered this. My dear husband, you rightly said that you're taking shelter in the water because as if you were afraid of the thing. But who are the kings of the material world? I do not think that the so-called royal families of the world. So Krishna was talking about the kings, I was afraid of the kings. That's why I started this city in Dwarka. And here Rukmini is giving a beautiful different context to it, totally a different, and it's so true. And I totally agree with Rukmini. What she's saying is the kings of this material world are the three modes of material nature. Isn't that true? Because Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, right? Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sharvashaha ahankara vimudatma kartahamiti manyate. That we as Jivatmas, under the influence of false ego, we think that we are the doers of all the activity. We think we are the controllers. We think we are the doers. We are everything. But in actuality, everything is being done by the three modes of material nature. That's what Krishna is saying. And who are this material nature? So this is the divine energy of Krishna. These three modes are this is the energy of Krishna, and they are the ones who are actually controlling. So they are the kings who are actually controlling all these atmas or all of us in this material world. So we are not the controllers. These actually the gunas, the three gunas, they are the control, because we are all just like puppets in the hands of the gunas, right? So you say you make enmity with all the worldly kings, but who are the worldly kings? The worldly kings are the senses. And again, Rukmini has another beautiful point over there. She's saying, who are these worldly kings? The kings are not like, Jarasandha and Shishupala. They are not the worldly kings. The actual kings are the senses. They are the ones who are controlling anyone. And it's true, isn't it? Suddenly somebody feels like having a nice dosa, we had to go and eat something, and immediately you'll take your car and drive another 10 miles. And why? Because it's just the senses. Your senses are controlling you, trying to tell you that, immediately, that's what Krishna says, once you come in contact with when your senses come in contact with the sense object, you lose control. And you really want, you're just passing next to a bakery and you get the smell of these cookies. And initially you try to control yourself, and the smell is keep coming on, and you're just walking and it's just smelling so good that you can't just control your senses. Immediately, you know that you're not in a position, or maybe that's a Ekadasi day, you're not supposed to eat cookies, but you are so tempted because your senses are just controlling you. You're not the one who's controlling the senses, but the senses are controlling you. Why do we call the Goswamis? Goswamis, they're the master of the senses. They were the master of the minds. But we are like Godas. We are not Goswamis. We are Godas. We are serving the senses. They are the ones who are controlling us. So certainly you maintain enmity with the material senses. You are never under the control, because Krishna is never under the control. One of the name of Krishna is called as Rishikesha. He is the master of the senses. And like I was telling last time, Indriyani paranyahur indriyebhya parammana manasastu para buddhe yobad buddhe paratastu saha. Actually, the Atma is the highest, and next to the Atma is your intelligence, and next to the intelligence is your mind, and under the mind is supposed to be your senses. But unfortunately, the senses are controlling all of us, and we are becoming conditioned by the control of the senses. So that is what Rukmini so nicely she's saying, I think who are the worldly kings? The worldly kings are the senses, actually. But that is not supposed to be, actually. We are supposed to be in control with the senses. So that is why Arjuna asked, Krishna, sometimes I do not want to do it, Krishna, but why am I forcibly doing as if somebody is forcing me to do? Then Krishna says, Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rashogun. So Krishna says it's only because of your lust, the passion that is there in that, which is controlling you. The senses, because you are in the mode of Rajoguna, that is that gunas is just controlling you. The senses are controlling you, the gunas are controlling you. That's why Krishna says, Evam Buddha, Param Buddha, Samsta Bhatman Matmaha. Just with your spiritual intelligence, you have to control your senses. That is what Krishna's solution to this problem. He says the senses are like that. They're like Rukmini said, they're like your worldly kings. But Krishna's advice is that the senses can be controlled by developing your spiritual intelligence. And that spiritual intelligence comes when you start chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Slowly, all the cleansing will happen when the heart and the mind gets cleansed. Then you will get more realization of who you are, that I'm an Atma and my duty is to serve the Paramatma. And when you're in the association of devotees, in that way you control your senses by developing your spiritual intelligence and being in the association of devotees. Otherwise, it's very difficult to control. So that's why Rukmini is saying that the senses are the controllers. And then again, she goes on to say, my dear, quote unquote, my dear Lord Krishna, you have said that you are bereft of all the royal power. And that is also correct, Krishna. Can you see she's not angry at all? She's reasoning with Krishna. Not only are you bereft of supremacy over the material world, but even your servants, those who have some attachment to your lotus feet, also give up supremacy over the material world because they consider the material position to be the darkest region which checks the progress of spiritual enlightenment. Your servants do not like material supremacy, so what to speak of you? My dear Lord, your statements that you do not act as an ordinary person with a particular aim in life is perfectly correct. So Krishna told multiple things, right? So we are breaking down. So Rukmini is giving a word-to-word rebuttal to what Krishna has said, but in the mood of humility, in the mood of, so you can see this from this particular conversation, we can see like how when somebody is speaking, like, someone of our loved ones are speaking, we needn't have to always reply back in a very angrily mood, but we can reply back with the words of wisdom, which even Krishna was impressed. You can see later that even how Krishna is also impressed with the words that Rukmini has spoken. But how nicely she's talking like an enlightened soul, like, how beautifully she's replying back, saying that, yeah, because Krishna said, I don't have the royal power, we all know that Krishna went and defeated Kamsa, but then who was ruling the kingdom? He was not ruling the kingdom. He given it to Kamsa's father, Ugrasena. Ugrasena was ruling Kamsa. Ruling Mathura. What did he get? He didn't get anything at all. Right? Similarly, his father, Nanda Maharaj, was owning 900,000 cows, but he was only going and taking care of them, but he's not getting anything over there. So Krishna tried to downplay. He's saying that I'm bereft of all the royal power and I do not have anything. I do not have any supremacy and all that. So Rukmini is giving such a beautiful essence. You can see it's pure nectar. And what she's saying is, the devotees of Krishna, we can see the pure devotees of Krishna, like the Goswamis, like the best example are the Goswamis. They had all the greatest material opulences. They had great position in the Qazi government, right? When the Muslims were ruling in that part of in India, the Goswamis were in a very good position. They were like in a very well-to-do position in this thing. But they left everything. Just to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to serve Krishna, right? And they left everything. They were just like, you can see the beautiful pictures of the Goswamis. They did not have anything at all. And they just came all the way on the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Vrindavan, and they started, doing their own spiritual advancement, and they had nothing. For them, the object or the goal is Krishna Prema, to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to reclaim to once again unearth all the beautiful places of Krishna's pastime. This is all that they had. The Goswamis had. So here, Rukmini very rightly, she's saying that your devotees themselves, they do not want any material position because that is going to be like an obstacle in the path of spiritual enlightenment, right? Even the devotees, they renounce all the things because why? Because they have found attachment they got a higher taste. In the material world, Krishna says, why we are not getting this love for Krishna? Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Pahirata Chetasa Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Samadhavana Vidiyate. Krishna is saying, though those whose minds are completely consumed, whose consciousness is completely contaminated with material enjoyment, sense enjoyment, material opulences, like Bhoga, Aishwarya, and all these things, a person whose consciousness is contaminated with all these things, Krishna says, for such kind of a person, there is no room for bhakti at all. So the mood of devotion towards Krishna will never happen because his mind is so contaminated with with the material opulences and sense enjoyment. But again, Krishna always tells what is the problem and also gives the solution. But again, he says, Vesaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavajyam rasivapasu param trisva nivartate. But once if you get a higher taste, but once the Atma gets a higher taste of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, once he get a higher taste of serving Krishna in the mood of devotion, once he get a higher taste in the mood in the association of devotees, once he get a higher taste by listening to Hari Katha, then those because you have experienced a higher taste, just like a child who's been having a lollipop and suddenly you give them a box of Ferrero Rocher chocolate, she may just throw this lollipop and she may continue to enjoy the Ferrero Rocher box of Ferrero. Similarly, when the pure devotees of the Lord experience a higher taste, then they will give up all this material position, which is what she's saying. Here, devotees, they consider this material position to be the darkest region which checks the progress of spiritual enlightenment. In fact, it is mentioned in our scriptures that when Krishna loves his devotee, when he sees that this particular pure devotee is so dedicated to Krishna, Krishna himself removes all these material opulences, which are like an obstacle in the path of this devotee, so that he can completely focus on Krishna. Many times it happens, isn't it? We are sailing in two boats. We want to have good things in life. We want to just have this material enjoyment. We want to watch some things, but at the same time, we also want to practice spirituality, right? We're all in the different stages of consciousness, right? But when Krishna sees that this particular pure devotee, when Krishna gives his grace to the pure devotee, he'll remove all these material opulences so that you will completely focus on the spiritual journey. And the best example, whoever else can be than our Srila Prabhupada, right? Srila Prabhupada was doing very well. He had a factory and, he was doing very well in the medical field. He could have become a very rich person, but Krishna literally made sure that his whole business, everything was a failure, so that Srila Prabhupada can completely focus on the spiritual world. And that is when towards the end, we can see at the age of 69, he took the Jaladut and he went all the way to the US completely with the completely dedicated mind. So Krishna wants you to completely remove all these obstacles which are like thorns in the way, so that they can completely focus on Krishna Prema. And it is not that they're just sacrificing. Krishna says, Mayeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya. Krishna says, just fix your mind on me always, and you will engage your mind and engage all your mind and intelligence. And how can you fix your mind on Krishna? By always listening to the holy name of Krishna. When you're chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, keep your mind focused on listening to the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And when we do that, Krishna says the benefit of doing that also. Prasanta manasa hayenam yoginam sukamuttamam. And Krishna says one who's fixing his mind by hearing this Hare Krishna Katha or Hari Katha or listening to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, he enjoys the highest level of transcendental happiness. So Krishna is not just simply saying that, as a sacrifice, just fix your mind upon me. He's saying that the devotees who fix their mind on me, they will attain the highest mood of transcendental happiness. So this is what here Rukmini also is trying to say, that yeah, you're right. Actually, you do not have any supremacy. You not only are bereft of any supremacy in the material, but not only you, or even your devotees also do not have any kind of a material supremacy, because they're not even interested in you. So if your devotees themselves are not even keen on this material supremacy, what to speak about you? Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshishin, you are the goal, you are the Supreme Lord, and what about you? Your devotees themselves are not interested in what to speak of you. My dear Lord, your statements that you do not act as an ordinary person with this, and this is another point, right? This is another point that, so one point she's saying that, yeah, you're right, that you do not have any royal power. Not only you, even your devotees are not interested in all this material opulences and all that, because they think it's like a thorn on the path of spiritual enlightenment. So even they don't like it. So even you don't. I mean, you are the Lord. So obviously you can. Earlier said, Rukmini, why are you marrying me? I do not have even a proper aim in life. I do not know what is my goal in life. That's what Krishna says. So for that, Rukmini she's giving her response. My dear Lord, you said that you do not act as an ordinary person with a particular aim in life. Is also perfectly correct. So imagine, many times when somebody says something to you, and then when you try to give a reply back and correcting the person, or kind of like instigating the person, or kind of like talking something very rude in that person, and that person gets angry also. But here you can see that the way Rukmini is reverting back to Krishna is extraordinary. right? So here she's saying like your statement that you do not have an ordinary person with a particular aim in life is correct. Even your great devotees, and saints, such as great sages and saintly person, even they remain in such a state that no one can get a clue what is the aim of life. Human society considers them as crazy and cynical. This is the thing, right? If you ask, like I seen that, right, in my colleagues also. They have this impression. They think that, oh, devotees of Krishna, I think they're only wasting their time. Oh, they're just worshipping so that they can escape from working. So they have their own philosophy. They think that people who are like spiritual, people who are devotional, oh, they don't have any time, or they're just escaping away from their responsibility. But they don't understand that actually the devotees of Krishna, they are the most ambitious devotees, because they are not only aiming for this life, they're aiming for the highest perfection of life, which is to attain Krishna Prema. They are aiming for the highest ambitious life, that in this life to attain Krishna Prema, and after this life to attain the Krishna Loka, the highest, which is called as Krishna Loka. They're not even talking about liberation. They're talking about going to the highest planet, which is called the supreme planet of Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavan. So you can imagine. So their aim is not, but unfortunately, the material people, because their consciousness is so contaminated, they cannot understand. Because if you see the Goswamis in Vrindavan, they were completely absorbed in serving Krishna, writing the beautiful books, Nectar of Devotion and things like that. But the common people, they do not understand. They don't understand what they're going to, because everybody is running behind, trying to be happy. But the actual happiness is like the soul itself is full of happiness. Sachitananda. Sachitananda means it's eternal, it is full of bliss, and it's full of knowledge. And this is what the great saints, they are enjoying this beautiful knowledge within themselves. They're enjoying this great bliss within themselves, because their minds and the hearts are not completely purified. So in that state of mind, they're completely enjoying in a state of bliss. But the people who are in the material life, they do not understand all these things. And that's why it said that even the great devotees and Rukmini, that's what she's trying to say here. The great devotees and saints, like the great sages, like even the Guptas, or you can talk about the people at that point of time who were great sages, like even also the 16,000 wives, they're all great sages actually. But they are actually worshipping, and they're enjoying a great bliss within themselves, because Paramatma is in the heart. And not only that, their ultimate aim is to come out of this material body and get back this original spiritual body, and go to this supreme local, supreme planet of Krishna, where they can go and serve Krishna. So she's saying like, even nobody can get even a clue of the aim of life. So Rukmini is once again trying to tell that not only you, even your devotees are like that. Your great sages and people who are worshipping Krishna, they look like as if they don't have any aim of life. Human society consider them crazy and cynical. I remember once one of the journalists, she was asking Srila Prabhupada, she was interviewing and asking like, Prabhuji, do you guys work anything at all? Do you guys work at all? And Srila Prabhupada replied back, the number of times Srila Prabhupada said, the number of hours that we are continuously working and serving, and in this mode of devotional service, I'm sure you cannot work like this. At this age of 670 years, I'm circumambulating around the universe. 13 times I have gone around the universe. I'm building so many temples around. You cannot do the work that we are doing. So this is the thing, right? The journalist was thinking that maybe these spiritual people, they don't have any other work. But what Prabhupada was doing, Prabhupada was building up this Bhakti Vriksha, this Bhakti tree. He was planting it, and he was seeding, and he was just making sure that it is spread all over the world. 108 temples in the span of 10 years, which is remarkable. You cannot even imagine in your life how it is possible. So this is what Rukmini is talking about. The human society consider them crazy. They think they're very crazy. And like the Goswamis, giving up all the material opulences, giving up their positions in the Kazi, kingdom, and they just came and became mendicants out there. So people think like, oh, this is a crazy thing. Why did you give all the comforts? But actually, they are looking for the higher taste. They're serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They're serving Krishna, and they're serving the gopis. So their aim of life remains a mystery to the common human being. The lowest of the mankind can neither know you nor your servants. A contaminated human being cannot even imagine the pastimes of you and your devotees. So you see, the Rukmini's realization of what she's kind of saying, a contaminated human person, that means a person who's completely absorbed in this material way of life, in material opulences. And isn't that the condition of most of the people in this material world? Everybody is running behind even though they know that one day they have to leave everything, but still they're craving so much that I have to earn so much of money, and they have to earn so many things, and I have to enjoy so much in this material life. And they identify themselves with the senses that this I have to satisfy myself, and they think that that is the goal of life. But everything can just vanish just in a in a flash, because you never know when the life comes to an end. Antavanta ime deha nityasyokta sharirinaha anasino prameyasu tasmad yudyasu bharata. Krishna says, Arjuna, the body which is covering this soul is very temporary, Arjuna. It is going to come to an end. So before it comes to an end, Arjuna, just stand up and fight. You have to do your yoga dharma, your dharma, Arjuna. You have to go and fight. So all kind of energies and opulences are engaged in your service, but still they rest at your shelter. So you can see that here Rukmini Devi is nicely mentioning about, like how the people in the material world, they do not understand the people who are spiritual, but the devotees of Krishna, they remain a mystery to everyone, isn't it? Isn't that the case? Because sometimes they don't understand. I've seen that even with some of my colleagues also, they have to carry the same impression that they think like, what are you guys doing in as devotees? Like you're just only, what do you get by doing all this Sankirtana Yajna and this chanting and all? How does it help, kind of thing? They don't get it at all. That actually you're cleansing your heart, it's cleansing your mind, it is liberating your ancestors, and it's putting your path. Because whatever we are suffering or enjoying because of a prarabdha karma, we have to also understand that what I'm doing now, whatever I'm suffering, it's because of my prarabdha karma. But again, what I'm doing now is, again, I'm putting the building blocks for my next life. So depending on that, we are just, when the people who are engaged in devotional life, we are also making a way for a beautiful next life. In fact, the aim itself is to get back our spiritual body and go back to Krishna Loka. That is the highest motive of any Krishna devotee, to be in the association of Krishna. Heaven or hell, the main objective of Krishna is devotees is to serve Krishna. So which is what Rukmini Devi is saying. So you are described yourself as a pendulum. So point by point, Rukmini is trying to again hit back at Krishna, but in a loving way. You can see how nicely she's answering. She's not agitated. She is not angry. She was in a mood of anxiety because she has so much of love for Krishna. But at the same time, everything that Krishna is saying, and this is the art of not just listening, but the art of speaking and putting everything in, how you can be very gentle. You can put your point across without agitating the other person. You can see she's not instigating Krishna with her replies back, but in the mood of humility, she's trying to add words of wisdom to whatever Krishna has said. There's so much of respect to the way she's answering Krishna. Not at all in today's world that it could be, you just want to give back answers because there's no respect, mutual respect. But you can see how much of mutual respect that is there, even though Krishna was trying to instigate her, but how much Rukmini is kind of like showing that love for Krishna, but in a way, in a mode of humility. And these are all the divine qualities that we have to nurture. Some people say, what do you get by listening to Harikatha? You can get so many things we can learn from. Our consciousness will be changed. Our consciousness will be purified. That this is how we have to be in this material world. This is how I have to reply back. Knowingly or unknowingly, I can tell you from my personal experience, knowingly or unknowingly, our consciousness slowly gets purified. Our consciousness and the way we handle and interact with our own people in the workplace changes when you become Krishna consciousness. And this is my personal experience, that when over a period of time, you become very calm, you become very pacified, you're not agitated when somebody speaks to you, and you are in the mood of being friendly with everyone. Your temperament is completely, you're in a very calm, you don't get agitated when people speak against you. In fact, when I was just moving out from my job, the common thing that everybody said is like, how do you manage to be so calm and peaceful all the time? You don't see you getting angry on anyone. You don't see you. And this was the final feedback. When my manager said, there's so much to learn from how you're always very calm and composed. You don't get angry with any people. I never seen you getting irritated. I never seen you getting angry or impulsive or anyone. And you don't realize it sometimes. The other people are realizing. They realize that, maybe by practicing Krishna consciousness, this is what happens, because sometimes even we don't realize that we are slowly nurturing these qualities because we are in the association of devotees, and because we are practicing Krishna consciousness, as we are constantly chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it pacifies your mind, it cools your mind, And in that way, we develop so many beautiful qualities. Krishna gives 36 beautiful qualities that he loves to see in his devotees. And all these beautiful qualities will manifest when we practice Krishna consciousness. When we practice Krishna consciousness, slowly all these beautiful qualities. Krishna says, right? Advaita sarva bhutana maitra karuna ivacha nirmamo nirahankara samadukka sukashami santusta satatam yogi yatatma durnasya may arpito mano buddhi mami vaisisim. Krishna gives a list of qualities. One who's not envious, but is a kind friend. One who's free from false ego. One who does not think himself a proprietor. One who's self-controlled, tolerant. List of qualities Krishna gives. And all those qualities will manifest when we have this practice Krishna consciousness in the association of devotees and we practice constantly chanting the holy name. So here he's saying, like, you have described yourself like penniless, but this condition is not poverty. So Krishna in many ways tried to tell her from different angles. One, I don't have a proper this thing. I don't have proper authority. I don't come from the royal this thing. I'm like from a village, so I do not know how to behave. I'm penniless. I'm not at all. I'm scared. So many ways he tries to torment her. But here you're saying, Rukmini is saying, you describe yourself as penniless, right? But this condition is not proper poverty. Since there is nothing in existence but you don't need to possess, you do not need to possess anything. You yourself are everything. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charamevacha. Krishna is inside and outside of everything. Unlike others, you do not require to purchase anything extraordinarily. We, because nothing belongs to us, we had to go and purchase. But for Krishna, everything, he is the master of the universe, he is the controller, he is the proprietor. Bhoktaram yajana tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Sarvaloka maheshwaram. He is the Lord of all the universe, material and spiritual also. So what to speak him? What is there for him to purchase? Because everything belongs to him. And with you, all the contrary things can be adjusted because you are absolute. Krishna is absolute. His nama and his name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, his nama, his form, everything is the same. It's absolute. And you do not need to possess anything, but no one is richer than you. Who can be richer than Krishna, right? Anybody, you could have a bit of a land, or you could be a lot of a big company or something like the CEO of a company or owner of a company. But here Krishna is the owner of all the material and spiritual worlds. So who can be richer than him, right? So that is why he is called as Bhagavan, because he all the six opulences, and one of the opulences is he's richer, he's famous, he's the unlimited fame, unlimited richness, everything is God. And in the material world, no one can be rich without possessing. Since your lordship is absolute, you can adjust the contradictions of possessing nothing, but at the same time being the richest. So Krishna may not possess anything, but again, everything belongs to him. In the Vedas, it is stated that you have no material hands and legs, yet you accept everything offered in devotion by the devotees. You have no material eyes and ears, but still you can see and hear everything. Although you do not have anything, possess anything, the great demigods who accept prayers and worship from others come and worship you to solicit your mercy. How can you be categorized among the poor? So you can see how nicely, how a beautiful art of speaking, art of conversation, like how we can speak to somebody without agitating somebody, without antagonizing somebody, but speak in such a way that the other person feels pacified. So here she's talking about, we all know, right? Through the Bhagavad Gita, through the Harikatha, we know the Krishna possesses, so Aham sarvasya prabhuvo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddhamavan. I'm the source of all the spiritual and material worlds. Everything belongs to Krishna. But in the Vedas, it is said that he has no material hands and legs. Why? Because we in this material body, we have a material body and we have a spiritual soul inside. But for Krishna, Sachitananda Vigraha, everything is transcendental. So he hasn't got material hands or legs. Everything is transcendental. But he accepts. So that's why he can accept anything with his devotee. For us, our eyes can only see and our ears can only hear. But for Krishna, he needs everything. He can eat with his eyes. It is multipotency. He can eat with his eyes, or he can see with his ears. He can do anything. But for us, we are fixed with certain things. Our eyes can only see. And in fact, over a period of time, our eyes cannot even properly see also. Because there's no perfection. These are all material eyes. But Krishna is transcendental. Satchitananda Vigraha, right? And still you can hear and see everything. Why? Because multipotence is he's got multipotency. Although you do not possess anything, even the great demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, everybody, they come and worship Krishna, right? So how can a person who's being worshipped by by all the demigods and everything, how can he be poor, right? So this is the mood, and so Rukmini is so nicely giving Krishna, like word to word, and there's so much to learn from Krishna. We can see the mood of devotion that he has, that even though she's in spiritual anxiety, all the spiritual anxiety, because see, what happens is, sometimes when somebody says something to us in that mood of anger, we say so many things sometimes which we don't even mean it. We in the mood of anger, because I seen, um, in fact, last week also, I just happened to witness somebody who just lost the temper in front of me. And he just went ballistic, like, and she was talking so much. And I was surprised to see this person is so friendly and so smiling, but could speak so badly like that. And later I said, like, I didn't even imagine that you could be speaking so much. I said, like, well, in the mood of anger, I just went and said something. I really don't mean it. I'm regretting later. So this is what happens in material life, right? Sometimes when somebody says something, immediately we want to respond and reciprocate immediately. It's an instant jamana. And we want to instantly give back to them in every way. We want to go and give back to them with tit for tat and rebuttal kind of a thing. But here you can see, like, Rukmini so nicely, she's listened to Krishna, whatever Krishna is saying, but in the mood of devotion, in the mood of humility, she's adding her thoughts to Krishna, saying that, yes, you do not have, the Vedas say that you don't have this materialized, but still you can see. And so she's in every way, she's trying to give a nice contradiction. She's giving a kind of rebuttal, but in a very, very nice way, in a very, very pleasing way. And how can you be called? And so whatever Krishna is trying to downplay, once again, she's upplaying them. He's trying to say, how can you be poor? You are being worshipped by the demigods. And how can you even think about that? You do not have material eyes like the hands, like all of us, right? Because Krishna says, Sarvata pani padamta, sarvato shishiro mukam, sarvata smriti malloke, sarvam avrita tistati. Krishna says, everywhere are my faces, my legs, my hands, everywhere. But we are not able to see. Why? Because we have material body, we have material eyes, we cannot see Krishna. That's why he says we have to know Krishna to jnana chaksu. That is through the knowledge of the Shastras, through the knowledge of the scriptures, we can see Krishna, right? Through this, we can see how beautiful Krishna is, how his nature is, how his qualities are. That is the way we have to see Krishna, jnana chaksu, through the knowledge that we get from the scriptures. So I want to just pause over here. There is a bit more which I think we will cover in the next session. I want to just stop here, being mindful of your time as well. Everybody has given your dedicated, your very precious time you are given, so which I'm so grateful for. And I just want to open the floor for any kind of realizations, any corrections, mistakes, or anything else at all, anything that you would like to share from your end. Amaga Prabhuji, Sanchitaji, anything? Ganeji, Vrindavan Prabhuji, please, if there's anything.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It is very wonderful. So the flow is keep going on. So we are just simply hearing and relishing this one. Everything is blissful and wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for continuously speaking.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I just wanted to cover a bit more because it's quite a long chapter. I think maybe we can just take turns in reading a bit in between as well. But I thought I'll just cover some more so that we can do this
Sure,
chapter.
Prabhuji.
In the next session, we'll be able to cover that. And I want to see next Thursday. Next Thursday is our this thing, right? And that is the time when I have it out there as well. Okay. Anyways, I will see how we can do that. But yeah. Thank you, Amaga Prabhu. You're always so supportive, and so much of the service that you're doing for all of us, and supporting in so many ways and all the different events. I'm so nicely, now when I meet somebody, I just tell them, like we have so many different services, so many activities we have, Bhagavad Gita on Saturday, and Thursday Krishna Katha, we have bhajans on Wednesday. So it's such a nice lineup of all the different devotional activities we have, isn't it? And so I can't thank you enough for putting all of those different activities together, which really helps us in showing it to people so that they can come and join us in some way or other.
Yes, Prabhuji, our devotees are all sincere devotees are coming. So it is all Krishna and Prabhupada are there. It will keep going on. Hare Krishna.
And I always look up to, whenever I have a doubt, the first person who comes to my mind is you, Prabhuji. I said, like, oh, today morning also, I was just thinking, oh, maybe I should ask Ramaga Prabhu, this particular sloka, I'm not getting it anywhere. I don't know where it is. And you just so nicely, just in a flash, you just mentioned the sloka name. I was like really amazed how much you are thorough with the scriptures. That's so amazing, Prabhuji. Yeah, so let's hope maybe we'll just we should do one bhajan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu maybe next week, next time when we catch up. So because as devotees of Krishna, we all have to just keep sharing with about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as well. That will be wonderful. Thank you, Prabhuji. Vrindavan Prabhuji, anything you want to add? Prabhuji might be busy. Gayatri ji, Anil Prabhu, Sweta
Hare
ji,
Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. 1 second, Prabhu. I'll call that one. I'll talk.
Yeah, sure. Anything anyone wants to add to this? Paritosh Prabhu, how is it? Yeah, Santich Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, it's only this one chapter. Like it's the way you are, explaining it and speaking about it, the passion with which you speak Krishna Katha. It's so infectious. Like you only want to absorb more. So the nectar as much. You don't want to miss even a word. Sometimes I do get late, but it's like so much. Everything you're saying is so practical and keeping in context with today's life, how things were then. And these are exemplary things like which we cannot even, we must, but we are still not able to do that. Like, as you mentioned, like how when a husband is speaking, you listen and then you reply in such a nice way with our arguments. But in Kali Yuga, as you mentioned, is the ego of quarrel and hypocrisy, and it's all this, even if it's not a quarrel, things go on, arguments still go on, and we're not able to control our senses, even with the children, with spouses. But there's so much to learn. So that's my reflection, Professor. Beautiful, and the way you narrate and you explain with so much like examples and everything. It was beautiful listening. Thank you. All glories to your wonderful service, Prabhu. And next week again, we're looking forward if we can have a session. If you're not busy, hope you don't get a service. If you get a service in the temple, that's well and good. But otherwise, we can listen to some other incarnation as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so the Golden Avatar. That would be really nice.
Yeah. Actually, to on that point, next Thursday for the 13th, we are doing a Kirtan. Prem Sankirtan Prabhu is back, so we are doing Kirtan from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And Prabhuji is going at 6 o'clock. We are doing, so other team members like me and another person, we are going to be doing from 6 to 7. So hopefully once I'm done, I'm going to have to rush and come back and so that we can share. I'm really keen, actually. I just wanted to share some few slides which I prepared earlier, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna, because I'm very intrigued by the way, how beautifully what Chaitanya Krishna said, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, and such a wonderful connectivity that we have, that way we can relate to what Krishna is saying and what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying and how it relates to each other. So I think that's something which we have to cover, but either we do it next week or maybe later after that. But I think that's something which will be really nice so that it sets the context of or gets us more kind of a more meaning or substance into like what Krishna said, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been doing. So it's a practical application of what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing. So yeah, thank you, Sanchit Ji.
That is really nice. Yeah, it's really nice to hear and see your endeavors that you have done to make the slides. We'll be looking forward to.
Yeah, sure, something. I really get very excited when I have to do some of these things. I like to put a lot of my thoughts together and come up with something which can share with our devotees. So yeah. Sweta ji, Hare Krishna. Gayatri ji, you back?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, I got an important call. I had to answer.
No.
But Prabhu, mainly I had to thank Amog, Prabhu, and you as well, because I make so many mistakes, and I have heard that devotees are even more merciful than Krishna himself, and I'm actually experiencing that, Prabhu. Whenever I make so many mistakes, but always Amog Das Prabhu, always when every day in the sessions, even though I make mistakes, he's always like, nice Mataji, you did very well, you did very well. It's so comforting, like I can't explain, Prabhu. Very nice. And today also,
No, I'm happy you have all the support, Gayatri ji, and we are all here to support each other. And devotees we are here to help each other, share with each other. And who else can come in our lives than devotees who can just whichever way we can serve each other. And this is how we can progress. Even if I had to look back many years back, I started the journey like this, being in the association of devotees and everybody encouraging, just sing this song, sing this bhajan. And that's how even I got into the groove of even reciting the slokas. Otherwise, I had no idea at all. So definitely Amoga Prabhu has got a big heart, and because in this material world, nobody wants to take this thing, but getting somebody to do a selfless service, like even though he's got a family with him, but still taking the time and making sure that all the program being there to support. Even I don't post, like, but Prabhuji immediately posts this session also on the groups and things like that. So one of the reasons why we always are enjoying this is because there's a selfless service of wonderful pure devotees like Amaga Prabhu. So yeah, we're always
yes,
blessed.
Prabhu, thank you so much. Thank you for everything. Thank you for supporting all the time
Yeah,
and bringing us to the better platform of devotional service, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank
absolutely.
you, both of you, and all the devotees who are here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Gayatri ji. So on that note, we will just end for today, and yeah, we will resume again next Thursday, hopefully. Yeah. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo.
वन्दे च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय
Jai
श्रील
Srila
प्रभुपाद
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna,
Can you
everyone.
want to three loud Hari Bols to Sham Prabhuji, please?
या हरि बोल
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
हरि
Hari
Hari
बोल
Bol.
Bol.
हरि
Hari
Hari
बोल
Bol.
Bol.
Thank you so much for giving your divine association. I feel so grateful and humble.